Hi, my name is Brian Leventhal. I'm a WashU graduate from 2005 from the Olin Business School, and I'm here to demonstrate a really incredible cocktail that we like to call the bourbon flannel. Now, maybe some of you might recognize this if you were at last year's alumni holiday party hosted at District Winery here in Washington, D.C. It was a drink that we actually served at the winery. So in addition to making great wine at Brooklyn and District Winery, we also have an amazing cocktail program, and I wanted to demonstrate to you how we make this great cocktail. This cocktail, you'll see, it has a bourbon or rye base and has a mulled orange juice as an add-in, which is awesome for these colder weather times now in the winter. So I'm going to show you how to make it. So come on over and we'll get going. All right. So cocktail making is not that different from baking or making any type of food, in the sense that you want to have your mise en place. You want to have all your ingredients ready before you begin. So before we actually mix the drink together, we have to put together the mulled orange juice component, which does require several different ingredients and some heating on the stove. So the ingredients that we're going to use are any orange juice. I use a pulp-free variety. We're going to use what Whole Foods calls turbinado sugar. It's also known as sugar in the raw. And then your choice of mulling spices. Currently I have cinnamon sticks, ground nutmeg, I have ground cloves because they were out of the whole cloves, and whole star anise. But you can have a combination of those. You can put allspice into it. There's all different things that you can do that gives it the flavor that you may enjoy. I'm going to make a batch that is going to produce approximately 2 cups of the mulled orange juice mixture. You can obviously scale this recipe up or down. The main components that have to be equivalent is the sugar to orange juice ratio, which we'll get to. So I have my pot on the stove, and we're going to first begin by pouring the orange juice in. So as I said, I'm going to do about 2 cups. So I'm going to measure 2 cups of orange juice in my measuring cup here. All right, 2 cups. Again, this doesn't have to be precise. We are kind of, just making something that goes into a drink. It's not baking, as we also like to do over here, which has to be more precise. All right, so now we're going to put the sugar in with the orange juice. So it's about 1/3 of a cup of sugar to 2 cups of orange juice. If you wanted to go up another cup, I did the math earlier on the calculator. It's 1/2 cup of sugar to 3 cups of orange juice, so depending on how much you want. So we'll take our 1/3 cup measurer. We'll get about 1/3 of a cup of sugar, pour it in with the orange juice. All right, there we go. As I said, I have 4 different mulling spices. The cinnamon stick, I'm going to put 1 stick in. If you really like cinnamon flavor, you could put in 2 sticks, whichever you prefer. So we'll drop 1 stick in. Star anise, I'm going to put in 3 of these. But again, you can put in as many as the flavors you enjoy. Okay. Cloves you can buy in a ground format like I have, or you can buy the full cloves. I have the ground format. I don't have a precise amount to put in other than whatever feels good to you. So I'm going to sprinkle some into the orange juice until I feel it has a clovey enough flavor for me. All right, that feels good. And then I'm going to do the similar logic with the ground nutmeg, which is also in a ground format. So, oh yeah, nutmeg reminds me of the holidays. Definitely has that good, very comforting smell to it. Okay, the next step, what we want to do is you want to turn on your stove, and we are going to bring the mixture to a boil. And the most important thing to know while you're bringing this to the boil is you want to mix it and you want to have all the sugar dissolve in the orange juice. Now, so you don't have to watch this go all the way to the boil, I trust that everyone can turn their stove on and bring it to a boil properly. And then once it does achieve the boil, you want to keep it on the stove, turn your stove down to a simmer, and let it sit for at least 15 minutes. You could go 20 minutes, 25 minutes, depending on how much time you have, to be honest. The longer you let it sit, the more the flavors will absorb into the orange juice mixture. And once that time has passed, you turn off your stove, and then you're going to want to strain the liquid. So you would just pour the orange juice and the clove mixture with the spices just through a strainer so that all of your solids would remain, and you would capture the liquid. And then you want to just put it in the refrigerator and let it chill down so that when you're pouring it on your drink, it's not hot, as this is supposed to be a cool drink. Just like a great cooking show, I've already done this for you. So I'm going to show you kind of the batch that I made earlier today and show you how to actually put the drink together. So join me now as we do that. All right. Well, some time has now passed, and now you have your amazing mulled orange juice. What you'll see from mine here is it's definitely taken on a different color than the orange juice. So this is what you want it to look like. It's taken on a little bit more brownish hue from all the spices that were mixed in it. So we're now going to put our cocktails together. I like to use rocks glasses like these. I'm also a big fan of the large ice cube, which you can get the trays which have those that allow you to make those larger cubes. You can use a rye or bourbon for this cocktail. If you like a sweeter cocktail, you would probably want to lend more towards bourbon. If you don't want your cocktail to be as sweet, you can go more in the rye direction. We're going to make two, one of each today. So I have whiskey from two of my favorite distilleries. For the bourbon, we're going to work with High West whiskey, which is out of Park City, Utah. So in terms of how much alcohol, I like to do about 1.5 to 2 ounces, depending on how much alcohol you enjoy in your drink. Oh, so that was the bourbon, and now we'll do the same thing for the rye. This is from Michter's Distillery, which is in, should know where that is, Kentucky, obviously. There we go. So we'll do same thing. So here we go. All right. So now we have our whiskeys in, and then we're going to add the mulled orange juice. So I have a nice little ladle here. In terms of how much, I like to do, a little bit more of the orange juice mixture than how much of the alcohol. But again, you can do this to taste. Put a little bit in, see if you want to put a little bit more in, depending on how strong you want the drink to be. And then it's always nice to have a little bit of a garnish. So we have some orange peels that we will put in to each glass. And here we go. We have our bourbon or rye flannel, as we like to call it, a perfect holiday drink. I hope you enjoy, and cheers.